Okay, thank you very much for coming this afternoon, everyone. This is our September 19th meeting. The title is Making a Difference in Appraising the Governor's Recall Results. We're going to have a few announcements and member actions that we're going to review between Ann and I. Featured speakers this afternoon are the LACDP Vice Chair Sergio Carril. Governor Newsom's recall results and the legislation on Governor Newsom's desk is what he's going to review. The Los Angeles Alliance for a New Economy Grocery and Retail Campaign Director Emerdeep Gill will be speaking about the CVS workers' contract, Fair Work Week campaign, and Clean Ports legislation. And the United Food and Commercial Workers Union representative Rachel Torres will chime in. Torrance Refinery Action Alliance intern Nia Liggins will also speak this afternoon.
Okay, so one of our first member actions and announcements here is in 2 weeks, October 2nd, Saturday, is a March for Reproductive Rights. So this is being sponsored by the Women's March Foundation, and there is a hopefully very big downtown LA march. And there is also one that will be in San Pedro more in the late afternoon at 25th and Western, 3 to 6 p.m. But I'm just going to talk more about the one downtown. So it's Saturday, 10 to 2. We meet at Pershing Square, and we're going to march to City Hall. And this slide just tells you why we're marching in terms of Texas's draconian 6-week abortion ban, and how many, and there's many organizations when you go to their website. So I urge all of you to think about maybe joining this march. There is maybe one coming up here in Redondo Beach if you don't want to make the drive or bus ride down to downtown LA. So there may be one here at Redondo Beach. So we have 2 weeks. We'll have some updated information. Oh, okay. Connie Kohler is saying you can say that. Why don't you unmute yourself? Why don't you say that, Connie?
Hi, Ann. Yes, there is a Redondo Beach march on October 2nd. It starts at 8:30 a.m.
Oh.
And Indivisible South Bay LA, of which I am on the steering committee, is a major participant, as is Indivisible Beach Cities and some of the other groups up the coast. So the details have been posted on the ISBLA Action Forum Facebook group.
Oh, great. Okay, I had maybe you can, hopefully you'll stick around to the end, because we have some other member actions we wanted to talk about at the end of this meeting, and I was trying to reach out to some of the individual folks to help us with that.
Great.
But thank you for confirming that. Okay. All right, moving on.
The Palos Verdes Chamber of Commerce is holding their annual legislative forum. It's virtual. It's Friday, October 15th at 11:30, and you can buy tickets now. Tickets are $25 for members and $30 for non-members. Congressman Ted Lieu, Assemblymember Al Marisucci, and Los Angeles County Supervisor Janice Hahn will all be speaking.
I just wanted to add here, they were trying to get Ben Allen, but for some reason he hadn't confirmed yet. So he may still be there. Last year they had all 4 of them. It was such a delight. So he may still confirm, but right now these are the 3 confirmed speakers.
Okay, next chart. The LACDP is holding their annual Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt Awards dinner. The date is Saturday, November 6th. It's a virtual event at 7:30, honoring 48 Democrats of the Year for our 24 assembly districts. All ticket purchasers will receive a link to the event on November 5th, and the general admission ticket is $35. I believe Tony Hale will be one of the honored members.
I was going to ask if I could add to that.
Go ahead.
Our Assembly District honorees will be Paul Seo, who's a member of this club, lives in Rancho Palos Verdes, and Kathy Familati, who I also believe is a member of this club, but she's a vice president in the San Pedro Club. And Tony Hale is going to be receiving the big award. We honor two people from each assembly district, but then they honor two people countywide. And Tony Hale is the male volunteer of the year, and he's past president of our club, and he's current president of Beach Cities Club. He's resolutions chair at the LA County Democratic Party. He sits on the resolutions committee at the California Democratic Party. He's our elected executive board member to the California Democratic Party from this assembly district. The other person, the woman receiving the award is Shanna Inglesby, and she's from the San Fernando Valley.
Great.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
add something?
Sure.
I would just like to add that Tony Hale was my campaign manager the year I won my seat on the West Basin Municipal Water District Board of Directors.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
Can we go on to our next chart? And
So as we were talking earlier, our meetings are still going to be virtual at least to the end of the year, and maybe then we'll go hybrid. But we decided to go virtual because of the Delta variant, and so that's why we're only virtual today. And in October, we're still working that theme for the meeting, so that's still a TBD. Actually, the speaker we have for November was going to be in October, but his daughter turned 17 and it's October 17. So how could he miss her birthday, right? So anyway, so we moved him to November, but this is Professor Jonathan Zathloff from UCLA's law school. He spoke to us back in February 2017. And he had quoted Bill Clinton at that time as where Republicans are needing to divide us in order to win. And it's very presently in terms of what we're going through right now. So the theme for that meeting is still being worked out with Jonathan Sadloff, but I just wanted you to know that he will be our main speaker. Well, that's a great segue because we have two people on our call today who are running for LA County Superior Court judge. And so I did want to introduce them, David Chang and Patrick Hare. David Chang is an LA County Deputy DA and Patrick Hare is LA County Public Defender. So maybe we could have them both up and thank you for joining us. Great, thank you for joining us. And maybe you want to just, at least you know you're running and what you're running for. So maybe why don't you introduce yourselves and let us just know a few things about you, and then we'll move on from there. And thank you, Sergio, very much for giving us the lowdown on the recall. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Patrick, you want to go first, or? Hi, everybody. I'm David Chang. I'm Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorney, and I am running for judge of the Los Angeles Superior Court next year. The primary will be in June 2022, and I appreciate you guys taking the time. It's great to be here with you guys, especially in on such a celebratory week for everybody. So thanks. I'm running for Superior Court because I think that Los Angeles deserves experienced judges who have the experience to take each case individually and not treat justice with a one-size-fits-all approach. And my professional experience includes criminal law and constitutional law, but also areas as different as patent law and juvenile courts. And it's not just legal experience, but it's life experience. I'm from here. I grew up right here in LA County, and I've worked in all different parts of the county, and including some very privileged ones and some very underprivileged ones. And I'd like to imagine that helps give me some insight into what we together would want to see out of our justice system. I'll save some fuller thoughts for later down the road when I'm looking for the
Yeah.
club's endorsement, but thank you guys so much for having me, and it's really nice to be here with you guys.
Okay, and just before we go, I did have one question. What do you think of the DA, District Attorney unions going against DA Gascon?
Specifically, what do I think about the
The district attorney unions are trying to thwart Gascon. They're trying to prevent his agenda.
So I think that the district attorneys implemented a lot of policies has implemented a lot of policies that have been part of this conversation that we've all been having about criminal justice. And as I said, a lot of the things that he's done, my belief is they should be approached not on a sort of blanket basis, but on an individual case-by-case basis. And I know it doesn't quite answer how I view it, because I have to be a little bit careful, both because I have a day job and I also can't really comment on things that might come in front of me as a judge. But what I can say is, you know, on each of these things, they should be taken individually and not necessarily. For instance, we shouldn't say, well, let everybody out without bail any more than we say keep everybody behind bars, right? Each case.
Is someone not muted? Excuse me. Is someone not muted? Because there's a lot of back talk here. Okay, keep going, David. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. That was what I wanted to say, is that while I can't talk about specific policies, I can say evaluating each case individually is important. And I don't think anybody wants to say, let everybody out without, on their own recognizance, any more than we want to keep everybody behind bars, because that's just not right and not constitutional. So again, it doesn't really get to the heart of it, but I can say that the one size fits all approach isn't one that I endorse as a lawyer, or that I would as a judge, I suppose.
Okay, thank you. And Patrick, why don't you follow? You have to unmute, sorry.
Hi, I'm Patrick Hare, a candidate for judge and a Los Angeles County public defender for over 30 years. I'm running out of the conviction that justice in South Los Angeles shouldn't look different than justice in the South Bay. I've spent most of my career working for treatment rather than incarceration for those with mental health and addiction issues, and I'm part of our office's Committee on Bail Reform. I'm pleased to be a guest of your club today, and I hope in the future that I can earn your support.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we're gonna thank you for joining us and being here for the full meeting. Let me see, I do see one chat. Let me see. Oh, Carol, when we've evaluated judges candidates in the past, there's been concern that too many of the judges that come before us are from the DA's office. So just beware when you come back that will be part of the questions that we'll be asking you about. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to move on, and I had Connie Kohler, who said she was going to help on this, but we wanted to talk about some actions that have to do with what actually, so maybe you could bring up Connie Kohler. But these are actions that Sergio talked about in terms of the focus being on the Virginia election and I guess New Jersey as well, but there's been a lot of letter writing by Swing Left and Sister District that focuses on the, there we go. that focuses on the Virginia's November election. And so there is a, and we can put it in the chat, but there is a on the Indivisible website. So maybe you could put it in the chat, Connie. But you have a an events page that talks about the electoral activities and which groups are focusing on what, like swing left, sister district, field team 6, grassroots Democrats, and West Side Democrats headquarters. So maybe you could just give us a little bit of overview so people can know about that.
Sure. Thank you, Ann and all. As I mentioned earlier, I'm on the steering committee of ISBLA, which covers virtually the entire territory of not only PV Dems, and I'm a member of this club, but also Torrance and some of the adjacent beach cities like Redondo Beach. Farther up the coast, you're getting into indivisible beach cities and South Bay Cares and some of the other indivisible groups, but we specifically are kind of this end of the beach cities. Indivisible, all the indivisibles are actually 501c4s. We are, public interest, public policy groups. We can mobilize and organize for public policy issues, but we cannot endorse or support any particular candidate's race, even though we're very progressive groups. However, we have affiliate groups. Swing Left South Bay LA is our immediate affiliate group that can work very directly on specific elections. And so we are involved very heavily with Swing Left's letter writing campaign called Vote Forward. And we meet every second and fourth Sunday of every month down at the Zamperini Field General Aviation Center at Torrance Airport to do that, to talk about election mobilization, election organizing, canvassing, get out the vote, voter registration, et cetera, and also to do actual letter writing and phone banking. We can't really do text banking down there because the Wi-Fi is kind of marginal. But at any rate, and we're working very closely with Sister District South Bay as well, which is also an offshoot of our indivisible group. We do have members of our steering committee, Patty Crane, for instance, who's very heavily involved at the statewide level with California Indivisible, who's extremely involved with Field Team 6. And so she's another resource. But we're working very definitely on Virginia, not so much New Jersey. But Virginia, we're supporting candidates Hurst and Tyler in their election and re-election bids for the Virginia House of Delegates specifically. And of course, we're also working to try to get Democrats out to vote all the way down the ballot, starting with Terry McAuliffe, who, by the way, is a former governor of Virginia, running again. Virginia governors cannot succeed themselves, but he let Ralph Northam be the intermediary, and he's running again. So at any rate, those are the groups that we're very actively engaged with. And we do have our ISBLA monthly meetings, usually either the first or the second Saturday of every month. Our meetings start at 2 p.m. You can join either in person at Zamperini Field or you can join on Zoom. We do offer those two options. So if anybody has any questions, please ask. And we are on Facebook. We have an ISBLA Action Forum Facebook group. So, please do look us up. And I will drop our website URL into the chat.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us at such a last moment. Okay, Connie, you have your hand up. Connie Sullivan.
Yeah, I have too many Connies.
Right.
No, I just wanted a quick announcement that next Sunday that Democrats from around the 66th Assembly District will be having breakfast at Mimi's at 10 a.m. We sit outside. It's very safe from a COVID perspective. We have a really good time too. So everybody's welcome to join us. If you want to, if you're interested, just shoot an email to the contact us on the PVP Dems website and I'll see it and pick it up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Connie. And having a good time at early in the morning, I'm assuming doesn't mean that you're drinking, so.
No,
Okay,
not for breakfast. No.
okay. Anybody else have any last minute announcements or observations? We can go to gallery.
Maria, I'd like to ask a question.
Go ahead.
When are the times for the march in San Pedro, the March for Reproductive Rights on
Yeah.
October? You have you did
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, so the march in San Pedro, I saw the email said 3 to 6 p.m. on
Okay.
25th and Western.
Okay.
And the
thank you.
march, the march downtown is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. from Pershing
Okay.
Square to City Hall. And hopefully a lot of people will come out. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
thank-
Dency.
Thank you. Yes, just a reminder for anybody who's interested in the Beach Cities Democrats virtual meeting. It's the fourth Wednesday of the month, which means it's this Wednesday at 7 p.m. You can find the link at beachcitiesdems.org. And at that time, you can congratulate Tony Hale in person, well, at least virtually in person, for what we learned earlier about what the honors he'll be receiving at the LACDP Roosevelt interviews. Tony is currently the president of Beach Cities Democrats. So again, at 7 p.m. this Wednesday, and you can find the link at beachcitiesdems.org. Thank you, Anne, for letting me make that announcement.
Oh, sure. And we'll make sure that's on our website as well. Okay. Connie Kohler, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to rewind back to the Women's March, the Redondo Beach.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Link to sign up. That's okay. It's 8:30 a.m. on Saturday, October 2nd. Meet at the Esplanade, and I dropped the link to sign up and all the detailed information. It's way up in the chat thread, but it's about the third
Right.
message down.
So when you're meeting at the and what's the cross with the Esplanade?
Oh gosh, I'd have to look it up, but it's
Okay.
kind of the south parking lot.
And are they walking along the Esplanade? Is that what they're going to do?
I'm really not sure what the plans are, but it should be
Okay.
in the detailed
Okay.
information.
All right, we'll make sure we get that up as well.
And everybody please bring signs. I do know that.
Yes.
Miramar Park. Thank you very much, Mayron. Yes.
By the way, for those who weren't on earlier, Maria had a really good saying. If Elder had won, it would have been what, Maria?
Elder abuse.
Abuse. Thought that was very good. Worth repeating for the main audience. Okay, any other hands up or announcements? All right. Well, happy September. Happy recall. No. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for everybody coming.
Thank you.